Hi, everybody. We're talking right now with E. Philip Brown, who happens to be a history teacher at Haverhill High School and also an instructor for the University of Phoenix, making his first run for the Haverhill City Council. Welcome, Phil.
Hi, Frank. Thanks for having me on the show.
You bet.
It's good to be here.
Give us an indication, what are some of the reasons that compelled you to make a run for City Council?
Well, I've been involved in politics ever since I can remember. I was a political science major. Always knew it was in the cards for me someday, but what really made me decide to run this time was when I heard the results of our MCAS scores at the high school. I was very, very upset. I looked into it and found out that our educational system is doing very well. I think we have a great school system. My two sons have gone there. My oldest graduated and got into 7 of the 8 colleges he applied to from the Classical Academy at the high school. My other son is a sophomore, doing very well in the Classical Academy. I meet many kids every day at the high school, being a teacher there, who are just firing on all 8 cylinders. And after further research, looking at what it is about these standardized tests and why we're doing so poorly, is that it has to do with our demographics more than our educational system. We could always be doing better. We have a problem with our society and our culture. We have 48% low-income students now. That's a lot, and we have a growing amount of people who don't speak English as their first language.
Do you know what the percentage that is?
It varies by the school. It's as high as 33, depending on the schools, as low as maybe 8. I think the average is 22 on the most recent. We have 48% low income. We have in the 20s or 30s, I think, special ed. So these are tough subcategories, and we can throw a lot of money at it. We're getting a lot of money from the state and the federal government, but it's a cultural issue, I believe. After looking at research I've done online and thinking about it, being there for 7 years and looking at the kids I deal with and who does well and who doesn't, income, socioeconomic issues, cultural issues.
So you're saying that this is not going to take care of itself, and what initiatives would you like to see implemented if you happen to be in the city
I think
council?
we have to address a lot of issues that are going on. One is we have to stop the amount of low-income, low-rent housing out there. That's, I think, is one of the biggest drivers. I will not approve any more condominiums in Haverhill unless they're for the elderly or the disabled. I think we have to get more owner-occupied buildings, people responsible for their properties, have the foreclosed properties moved into, fixed up, before I would even consider one more. Because people coming here from outside, this isn't indigenous growth in poverty. Of that 48% of these kids, maybe I could account 10% of that to problems, been here all their lives, jobs, and what have you. Most of it is people coming from outside of the city to take advantage of our low rents. It's a problem here, Lawrence, Lowell, all these old mill cities, okay? It's nothing, it's not, something that can be fixed overnight. But with all these low-income people, unfortunately, come all the social problems, drug abuse, teen pregnancy, domestic violence, hunger, homelessness. They're all there. I've yet to see this become a major issue when I watch City Council or listen to the mayor. I just think we need more focus on that from our government, and I will do that. I can't solve any of these problems, but I can make progress. I can address all of them somehow, some way, getting community groups involved, service organizations, making sure there's a good coordinated effort, and let people know to start the discussion. I think that's the most important thing. Let's talk about it.
Would you work with state legislatures as well, given the circumstances where in many cases there have been low-income units that have been basically, I'm not going to say arbitrarily put in, but they use a certain state formula where they take into account what degree of affordable housing do you have.
Talking about 40B?
Yeah, about the 40B issue, when in fact, when that occurs, then developers can come in and basically throw the rule book out the window, override present zoning, put in whatever they want, almost in the form of a hit-and-run development, leave, but then they're outside the city boundaries driving the benefits from subsidized rental housing for themselves,
right.
But that leaves a legacy for the city to have to take care of on many of the issues that you just cited.
Right. A 40B is I think, a boondoggle. There's so many holes in it, from what I've read. I'm not an expert on it. I know you know a lot more about it than I do, but why aren't they taking advantage of 40B in Andover and North Andover and all these other communities?
Because they don't want to.
Right, okay. We have low land pricing, low housing pricing. It's easy to put those kind of things here. But I think that day is coming to an end. I don't think there's a lot more room for residential, developments, condominiums, maybe. But when the market goes south and those don't sell, they go out for rent. For the same amount of money, would you rather live in a nice brand new condo or a double decker on 6th Ave? I mean, it's a no-brainer. So the owner of the double decker, triple decker on 6th Ave, they're going to get whoever they can.
It
okay?
contracts, so they
Right.
go to the lowest common denominator
Right.
in order to fill the void.
Actually, I hate to sound like I'm anti-poor people or anti-low income. Not at all. But if you can't deal with those people properly, if you can't provide them the services they need because you're running on fumes with your city services, you have the highest debt in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, what justice can we do them? We have more than we can adequately deal with. Hence all these social problems. Frank, I was so upset when I saw that Haverhill had 39 opiate overdoses since 2006, I think the number was. Do you remember, what article I'm talking about? We beat Lawrence in heroin-related drugs and Methuen and all these things. Where's the fury? Where's the outrage?
If I could just ask you, so you're not, let me just try to define this so that I know I'm interpreting this the right way, and that is that you're not being insensitive to the issue. You just don't want to have there to be a disproportionate, overloaded point of leverage in this community necessarily.
Right. Especially when we're entering an age where grants are going to be drying up. Right now, as we speak, there's a government shutdown, and there's going to be probably another one when they lift the deficit ceiling. Okay. We know Washington can't get its act together. $16 trillion national debt, $100 billion annual deficit. Someday those grants are going away, and Haverhill is very exposed to that. They're going to be cutting the social net, the safety net in this city.
You're talking about, with less than a minute left, you're talking about being able to have enough foresight to be prepared for that type of thing rather than
Yes.
be reactive.
Yes, and with 1 minute left, I know I've sounded very negative, but this is a great city. There's a lot we can do. We have great schools. We have great natural resources, lakes. We have farms. We have great neighborhoods. There's a lot about Haverhill we can promote. We know some good things are coming. What it is, you might know more than I do, but we know some really good things are coming on Merrimack Street. We need to work together. All of us, as a community, get involved, join something, help us. We can change that in Haverhill, but we can't keep doing things the way we've been doing them. We have to deal with some of our problems, and we have to go looking out for solutions and showing people what a great city this is. So businesses will come here. People will buy property here. We can't afford to mess up anymore in government. We need fresh people in there. I would like to change the city government. I could talk 8 more minutes about that, about changing our charter. We need to get more women and minorities. Our minority rate is growing. There are very few in our government at any level, pretty much. And that's upsetting to me, okay? One of the best things about the city is our diversity and how well we all get along with each other.
That'll have to be the last word. E. Philip Brown, first run for Haverhill City Council. We thank you for being here this evening. You sound very passionate about being able to go ahead and put forth many of the ideas and issues that you have discussed here today.
Thank you, Frank.
We wish you the best of luck in the upcoming
Appreciate it.
election.
Thank you.
We'll be back.